everybody, I'm Allie. Thank you for joining me today, and I'm going to be showing you an intro to mat Pilates workout. So we're going to cover some basic breathing techniques as well as some core exercises and lower body exercises. All you need is a mat or a towel, and then let's get going. So like I said, we're going to be going over some breathing techniques. To start, I'm going to go over what a Pilates breath feels like or looks like. If you are traditionally used to taking yoga, you might know that that's a deep belly breath, but Pilates breath is a little bit more diaphragmatic and it stays up in the ribs. So before we head down to the mat, I'm going to show you a quick way to test to see if you're breathing in that Pilates breath. So what you're going to do is take your hands around your rib cage, and as you inhale, try to separate those fingers. As you exhale through your mouth, your fingertips are going to come together slightly. Let's do 3 more. Big inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. So again, big inhale through the nose, fill the ribs, exhale, and empty the lungs. So almost like you're filling the lungs and then exhaling all of that air out to fog up a piece of glass in front of you. Now we're going to do a little bit of a warm-up. So we're just going to roll the shoulders back, just open up the chest, open up the shoulders. So lift up, circle down, and pull those shoulder blades down your spine. We'll do 2 more here, and then switch directions. One more, and rest. From here, stretch up and over, reach through the fingertips, open up those obliques, and then stretch up and over to the opposite side. Again, reach through those fingertips, open up your sides. We'll do 1 more each way. And rest. From here, we're going to open up the hips, step into a side lunge. So toes are pointed forward, hips are drawing back. And we're just going to hold. Feel a nice stretch on those inner thighs. And then take the weight up and over to the opposite side. Back to the original side. Last one. And then we're going to come back to center, fold forward, and hold. Let the weight of the upper body open up the lower back. And slowly roll up, 1 vertebra at a time, and we'll roll those shoulders back a few more times. And then we'll get going. So from here, we're going to head to the mat. We're going to practice something called pelvic tilts. So this is a little bit of prep for a bridge or a hip lift. So with our feet flat on the mat, feet are just under our hips, and heels are walked in a little bit closer to our tush. Right here, without pulling my abdominals in or overarching my back, just laying comfortably on the floor, this is what we call neutral spine. So we have a little bit of space between our back and the floor. The pelvic tilt is going to help us turn our abdominals on and close that gap. So from here, if you take your hands to your hips, pull those abdominals in and press your lower back into the floor, you're going to close that gap. And then you're going to release. We're going to do 4 more. Hold those abdominals in. Feel the pelvis rock back. Close your gap. And then relax. Repeat. Close and hold. And relax. We're going to do 2 more. Pull it in and hold. Squeezing through those abdominals. Try not to turn on too much of our glutes. And then relax. Last one. And rest. So that's going to be the prep for a lot of our moves. From here, we're going to use that tilt to go up into a pelvic lift. So we're going to pull those lower abdominals in, start to peel ourselves up off of the mat, one vertebrae at a time, pausing at our shoulders, and then start to roll down from the shoulders, the middle of the back, the lower back. Tailbone is last to hit, and we rock through. We're going to repeat and do 7 more. Pull those abdominals in, tuck that tailbone under, start to lift yourself up, hold, and then slowly roll yourself down. We're going to keep going here. As you come up, we're pressing up through those heels, squeezing those glutes at the top, slowly rolling back down. Tuck and lift, and lower down. We've got 3 more. Still drawing in through those abdominals. Think about your spine hitting down one vertebrae at a time, almost like you were lifting yourself up off the mat if there was a string attached from the ceiling. And rest. From here, we're going to take that bridge and change it up just a little bit. We're going to go into a hip lift. So just our traditional bridge where we lift up in one piece. We're going to stay in this same position, feet flat on the floor, arms at our sides. But now we're driving up through those heels to lift our hip up in one piece. So as you inhale, press through the heels, lift up, hold, and lower back down. We're going to repeat. Press through those heels, lift and squeeze, and lower down. And repeat, lift, and lower. You'll notice you're just hinging up in one movement. Squeezing those glutes at the top. We've got 3 more. Just lifting up to the tops of those shoulders. And last one. Go ahead and lift, hold, and lower back down. We're going to carefully roll on up. From here, we're going to go into what we call windshield wipers. So, we're going to slowly roll back down to the mat. We're going to lift our legs up into what we call tabletop. So, the legs are at 90 degrees, knees are over our hips, arms are at our sides. If I was looking straight forward between my knees, without lifting my head, I should just be able to see the tips of my toes. So, from here, with your arms at your sides, you're going to let the knees lower to one side and then pull back to center. So as you inhale, lower the knees down to about 1 inch off the floor, and then use those obliques and abdominals to return to center. Repeat on the other side. Good. And come back to center. We want to try to avoid using momentum from those legs to lift back to center. We want to pull through those abdominals and obliques to lift back up. We've got 2 more on each side, trying to keep those legs in that 90-degree angle the whole time. Last set. Back to center. Last one. And lift. Good. We're going to place our feet back on the floor. From here, we're going to go into a chest lift. So this is a basic move, and it's a builder for a lot of other moves in Pilates. So we're going to take our hands behind our head. Our feet are in that same position as our bridge. So our elbows are wide and lifted slightly. We're tucking the chin into the chest just a little bit. We're going to draw in those abdominals and lift, hold, and lower back down. So I'm just lifting to get those shoulder blades off the mat. Elbows stay wide. Chin is tucked to the chest just a little bit. And lift. We've got 4 more. Again, that lower back stays pushed into the floor. Shoulders are relaxed. Last one, and relax. From here, we're gonna use that chest lift to get ready for hundreds. So hundreds is a common move in Pilates. We're gonna lift those knees back up to tabletop, and we're gonna come up into a chest lift. If you're saying to yourself, Allie, you're crazy, I can't hold both of these at the same time, let those feet rest. You can keep the feet here or have the feet here. It's really however you're feeling that day. But we're gonna keep this chest lift. If our legs are here, we're gonna take a big inhale for 5 breaths and then exhale for 5. So we're gonna breathe in for 5. Exhale. Inhale. Inhale for 5. We've got one more. And rest. So that was half of our hundreds. So that was 5. Each cycle is a count of 10. So if we were to go and repeat and do another 5, that would get us to our hundreds. So I'm gonna lie back down, finish our second set. So as we inhale and exhale, those arms are pumping along with us. So lift those knees, close that lower back, pulling those abdominals in, lift up into your chest lift, and begin. Big inhale. Exhale. And rest. Go ahead, pull those knees in towards your chest. Open up that lower back. Give yourself some knee circles here. Let yourself roll side to side. And then carefully sit on up. From here, we're gonna switch to a leg series. So we're gonna be on our side. Our elbow is under our shoulder, or we can rest and rest our head into our hand. But what we want to look for is being right on top of that bottom hip. Legs start out straight. From here, we're going to lift the legs and bring them a little bit closer to the front corner of your mat, still staying right on top of that hip. We're going to have a couple leg exercises. They're going to be 8 reps each, and then we're going to repeat on the other side. So from here, we're going to lift that top leg and circle the leg forward. So keeping the foot in line with the hip, we're going to circle forward for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we're going to go backwards, so the opposite direction. Same, we're going to go for 8. Small little circles here. 3, 2, 1, and rest. From here, that top leg, we're gonna lift and lower. So again, toes pointed, we're gonna lift about 2 inches or so off of that other leg, and we're gonna lift and lower. Good. So nice and controlled as you lift. Pointing through the toes, keeping those obliques lifted. Try not to rock side to side. We've got 2 more. And rest. From here, we're gonna do a leg sweep. So, leg is gonna lift about a couple inches off of that other foot. We're gonna point the toes as we sweep the leg forward, and then flex the foot as we sweep the leg back. We want the leg to go just behind the hip, only about an inch or so, and then point and sweep forward, flex, and sweep back. Point and come forward, flex, and sweep back. Again, nice and controlled. Trying to keep that foot in line with the hip. We've got 3 more. Last one. And bring it back. From here, we're gonna go into clamshells. So we're gonna bend both legs, and we're gonna lift the legs up just a little bit so that bottom leg is also lifted off of the floor. Our feet are stacked and so are our knees. From here, we're just gonna open up the top leg, keeping those heels connected as we lower. We're open and close. Good. Keeping those heels together, working those outer thighs as well as our glutes and a little bit of our inner thighs. We've got 3 more. Again, abdominals are pulled in and rest. Let the legs come down. We'll turn over and do the other side. So we're gonna have those same exercises on this side. Same setup. We'll get that elbow under our shoulder, legs are out long, bring them forward. We've got our circles first. So we're gonna lift the top leg, point the toes, and circle forward for 8. 2. And rest, and switch, circle back. 8, 7, 6. And rest. All right, from here we've got leg lifts. So again, point the toes on that top leg. Leg is still in line with our hip. So our toes are still in line with your leg. We're gonna lift and lower. Abdominals are pulled in. Got 1 more. And rest. From here, we've got that leg sweep. So again, lift your leg up, point the toes. We're gonna sweep the leg forward, flex, bringing the toes back towards our shins as we push back. Squeeze through the glutes, point, and sweep forward. Flex, and go back. Getting a little work on those glutes and hamstrings. We've got 3 more. Last one. And let that leg come back to center and rest. Bring those knees in. Legs are stacked. Heels are glued together. Lift the bottom leg about 1 inch or so off of that mat. This front hand is here for a kickstand. Just putting a little weight in to help support so we don't rock side to side. So let's open and close. This leg might fatigue a little bit faster than the first side because, believe it or not, it was still active even though we were lying on it on the opposite side. And rest, let the feet come down. All right, from here, I'm gonna show you just a few stretches since we did work those legs and abdominals. So from here, hands go behind you, cross one leg over the other just below the knee, and then lean forward. It's gonna open up the backs of the legs, get a little bit of an IT band stretch in here as well. And release. Cross the other leg up and over, and reach forward. So this should feel good, especially after that leg work that we did. And release. We're gonna go ahead and lie back on our mat. We're gonna roll down, pull the knees in towards the chest, and then let the legs fall to one side, opening the arms out like the letter T. So this should be a good abdominal, lower back, and even leg stretch. And then come back to center. Let the legs fall to the opposite side. come back to center. Extend through the legs and the arms. Stretch the fingertips up overhead. Legs go out long. Reach through the fingers and toes. And then carefully walk the feet in. We'll sit on up and rest. So that was an intro to mat workout. If you wanted to turn it into a little bit more of a full workout, you could go ahead and do these again. Most of the exercises were done for about 8 or so reps. So you could go ahead, take a little break, and repeat. Again, my name is Allie. Thank you for joining me today for this intro to mat workout.